Hello, everybody. You are now tuned into Visionary Magazine. This is your host, Majid, and today we're coming with another interview. Now, today we'll be interviewing a PR and brand strategist who is also an entrepreneur as well by the name of Gabe. Now, this is going to be an interesting one because, the NFT space has been something that has been going for the past year and a half, maybe 2 years. It's a space in the industry that we've seen big numbers in come out of nowhere, like started in the hundreds of thousands. Now we're hearing about millions, even now tens of millions. So it's definitely something that is growing. A lot of people are saying that this is going to be NFT is really going to be the future. So in order to learn more about the space, we're going to be speaking today to someone who we could say is an expert. I mean, this is a new industry or a new space, so I guess there are no real experts officially yet. But this is someone who has had a lot of experience, in the past year working with artists, helping them monetize their creations on NFTs. And I think it will just be a really valuable conversation for people who are, entrepreneurs, creatives, artists who want to maybe get into NFTs and broaden the scope when it comes to monetizing their creation. So, with that being said, let's get Gabe on here and have this conversation. How are you doing?
Nice. I'm doing well. Thank you so much.
That's
Thank you
good.
for having me.
It's a pleasure. Well, first of all, thank you for coming on and being part of this conversation. Now, just before we get into NFTs, which is what you really do now, I just want to, get if you could give an introduction about yourself to the people who might not know you.
All right. So for the last 11 years, I work as a PR strategist and PR and growth hacking services provider. I worked with lots of brands, companies, and individuals. For the last 5 years, I work with crypto startups and crypto companies. And for the last 2 years, I'm deeply involved in NFT projects. Right now, there is a hype on the NFT and around NFTs. There is so much buzz and noise, but we need to know that the technology exists since like 2014, so it's not very new, and in the future, I believe a lot of new applications, new use case studies, and interesting projects will appear. So this is my focus now.
Okay, that's interesting, and we're definitely going to get into that later on. But now I want to talk about what your main focus is like when it comes to your work right now. Now, you're someone who you work with a lot of crypto companies, you work with a lot of NFT artists, you've done a lot of big numbers in sales. So first, I want to talk about how did you get introduced to the NFT space?
Um, to the NFTs technology, I was introduced, and basically, like me and my team, we found it because we were looking for the technology to somehow secure the copyrights for the content. Like we are working with influencers, and these influencers, they are publishing content, and many times it is happening a lot that the content is being stolen or is being copied,
Yeah.
and then used online without the permission, even sometimes on advertising.
Yeah.
So sometimes the smaller companies, they are stealing some influencers' posts and or putting the face of the influencer on the advertisement, promoting their project, and the influencer doesn't even know that his or her face is promoting some product.
Right.
So we were looking for a technology that would help us secure and track this content. And this is how we found NFT. It was like 2 years ago. Everything was just starting, was just beginning, and since then the technology developed significantly, and it's still developing. So this is how we found this technology like very interesting. And of course, then later we've seen the NFTs published as digital art. We also seen startups like the OpenSea being launched and funded. So I thought from the beginning that it will be something big, and it happened. But what we see now, it is really just a beginning, because NFT right now is mostly about art. It's mostly about digital pictures, videos, animations, etc. So we think that NFTs are mostly like digital art, are assets.
Yeah.
But it's not only that. NFTs are the way of authenticating and tracking the assets. It might be anything. Right now, I know startups that, for example, are working on putting chips into physical products like bags, like cars, like luxury watches, etc. So basically, NFTs might replace agreements.
Okay.
Because, for example, imagine this. You will buy a Rolex as an NFT, and this physical real world Rolex will have a chip implemented, connected with the NFT. So, for example, you will be paying for the NFT, but you will be receiving a physical watch.
Yeah.
And that way, if you will later would like to sell it on a secondary market, because you bought from Rolex, for example, but you would like to sell on the secondary market, then you will have to sell it as an NFT as well.
Yeah.
And that way everything will be always transparent, and we will be able to be 100% sure, first of all, that this watch is original, that it is not fake watch, for example, because we will NFT will be a proof of that. Second of all, we will be able to track all the transactions, so we will know how many owners this watch had, etc. And as well, of course, the company, for example, can get royalties from each sales of this watch, and for that they can give you some free services, like for example, free guarantee or free service or free any other additional perks.
Yeah. Definitely. There's a clothing brand right now, I think, that's doing that. They're selling their clothes as NFTs, and then you receive a physical piece of clothing with it. And then whenever you sell it, like you said, the NFT works as an agreement and the company gets a royalty. So definitely, I'm sure big brands are going to catch up to this. And now I want to ask you about how you got into working with actual NFT artists and how you're helping them monetizing their work. How did you get into that?
So it is happening by several different ways. Like for example, we work with collectors, we work with the buyers, and we are trying to always like advise, provide some expertise, not only be like brokers. So not only source and connect the NFT owner with the NFT buyer, artist, or this is like second market owner, but we are also always trying to provide some additional value. So for example, we are tracking which NFTs are increasing with value, which are going down, which have potential to become something bigger. Also, of course, we are connecting artists with brands.
Okay.
For example, or we are involving artists in particular commercial projects, like for example with celebrities or with influencers who are not producing or creating the NFTs themselves, because they're not designers or not modelers, for example.
Yeah.
But they're giving an idea and then they are like signing. So it is like cooperation between someone with a large following and the artist that will create particular art.
Okay, that's interesting. And now I want to ask, since we're talking about artists, I want to ask, let's say I'm an artist or a brand or a creative, and I would like to get involved in the NFT space, and I'd like to use the NFT space to monetize my creation. In your opinion, what would you say are like the first steps and where are the best places to start and things like that? Say I know nothing about it. What would you recommend?
So what I would recommend you are following things. First of all, you need to do your homework. So you need to do your research. You need to understand what NFTs are, how they are different from the other forms of selling art, for example. You need to understand what platforms are on the market. Each platform is different, and each platform has pros and cons. So you would need to learn a little bit about that. Second of all, you need to understand that with selling NFTs, it is a little bit like with selling an art or any other assets of value. So it's not enough that you will just a lot of emerging artists, they are complaining that they expected that they will just mint an NFT, they will put it on OpenSea, for example, and then people will buy it just because this is an NFT. It doesn't work like that. You need to in fact, we spoke about it on the beginning of our call. Like, you need to build a little bit like your personal brand. You need to build a community around your project. You need to know who your collectors or who your buyers slash who your audience are. So you need to have a plan for that. You cannot just mint something. Of course you will have to pay the gas fee, so you will spend, for example, I don't know, like $70 on gas, and then you will not sell anything because people on OpenSea, they will not know you, and they will not know why is your asset interesting. You need to take care of your brand. So good idea actually is always, for example, if you don't have any personal brand or social media presence, or you don't have the audience, or you don't have community of fans and buyers around you, it's good to partner with someone who already has this following and will be able to direct the traffic into your project, and then share revenues, etc. It's always a good idea, but also it's good to start and keep building the community around your art, around your creations, around your NFTs, yourself. So you need to basically let people understand why your project is worth investment.
Okay, definitely. That's very valuable. And I want to ask just real quick, what do you think are the best ways for an artist to build a community around space?
So right now, luckily, we have a community growing on platforms like Telegram, Discord, for example. It's always good to join channels that are already program groups, for example. Start talking with people, who are into crypto, start talking with people who might be interested in your project. First of all, you need to understand what is your project about. So who is your like target audience? Are you doing something that is supposed to be attractive for people who are into crypto, or are you doing something which is related to pop culture, or are you doing something related to anime, or are you doing something which is related to, I don't know, ecology, for example, or sustainability, and then with these groups, with these communities, you need to start building your presence and the presence of your project.
Okay, that's definitely valuable. And now I want to ask you about how NFT is going to change the economy. Now, you already talked about how NFTs are not just going to be art, but more of like an agreement or a contract between a seller and a buyer. What are some other ways you see the NFT space kind of affecting the economy in the future?
So honestly, what I'll tell you right now, it's really like science fiction, but I believe that NFT will change the economy completely. Everything what we will be buying and selling, especially anything that can be considered an asset, will likely to be connected with the NFTs. Because why? Because this is the best way to authenticate the asset, track the asset, and also settle, and share profits from that this asset can generate.
Okay.
So everything we will see very soon that brands like on the beginning, like luxury brands that are selling bags like Hermes, for example, luxury cars like Lamborghini, luxury watches, jewelry, fashion. We can see it right now that these brands are connecting their physical products with the NFTs. But later on, we will see all the spectrum of products and services being connected and distributed as an NFTs, because this is just a better way to sell it. Look, when you are buying on Amazon, for example, right now, and you are looking at the picture of some T-shirt, for example, you just see pixels, you just see the digital representation of the product. You cannot see the actual product, but you trust that this product is going to be good because you trust Amazon, who have a brand, and because of this brand you trust that you will get, you will not be disappointed. And if you would be disappointed, you will just send it back to them and ask for the refund. But NFTs, they are, this is blockchain is exactly like giving you this trust. The network is providing this trust. So you would not need a brand like Amazon to provide trust into transactions.
Okay. Okay, definitely. And with the NFT space right now, there's a lot of people and a lot of people who are, accomplished people who, people might look up to, or they're experts in their field. A lot of them say, listen, this NFT thing is not the future. This NFT thing is a bubble. Some say they don't understand it. Some say they understand it, but it's not gonna go far. So I want to ask you, since you're heavily involved in the space, do you think the NFT space is a bubble, and will it burst anytime soon?
You're saying,
Yeah.
you are asking me if NFTs, I think, are a bubble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Majid, of course they are. Of course they are. If you are, especially the ones that are hype, the ones that are, already, the prices are going like to the moon, etc. Of course, it is a bubble, and of course, it's gonna pop. But we shouldn't think that NFT as a technology is a bubble. Particular assets, yes, you it is never wise to buy something expensive and sell for cheap. The opposite, yes, you should buy something for cheap and sell for more, right? So if you see assets who are already like overpriced, like don't buy them. Just look and follow the development of the technology, because bubble is applicable only to particular assets / particular examples of the digital art, but not to the technology itself. The technology itself, it will thrive, it will develop, it will change the entire economy. So of course we will see emerging coming regular, and we will see, for example, next year or 2 years later, we will see the artists that will sell the NFTs for more than people, for example. We will see most likely, maybe even this year, NFT that will be sell for like $100 million, right? But the majority of the investors, majority of collectors, they shouldn't really like care, and they shouldn't really like follow this hype, bubbly, overpriced things. You should focus on what this technology is really like offering. You should focus on long-term investments, for example, long-term assets. You should see what companies are getting into. Look, if for example big tycoons like for example Mark Cuban are getting into it, it is a good sign for you that what he is investing in, it is worth an investment, because this guy, of course, he's very smart, but he also has a team, analytical team, who are doing a research for him, who are providing him insights, who are providing him data, and based on these insights, he is making his decision. So if he is like investing in something, we can believe that this is well considered, and then you can follow his moves, for example. And this is what is happening, look at, for example, Dogecoin. It's all because of like Elon Musk.
Now I want to ask you kind of like an exclusive scope, since you talked about investors and buyers. I want to ask you, say someone watching right now has some money to the side and they'd like to invest it and they're thinking about NFTs. Where would you guide them? Could you like give us names or name of a collection, name of a project, name of an artist that you think in the next 6 months is going to be worth more than what it is now?
This I cannot, of course, I cannot say, because I don't want to misguide anyone. But I would really, I would really encourage to do the research and connect with the serious players within the industry. Basically, you will not lose on CryptoPunks. You will not lose. If you will buy CryptoPunk, like they only gonna grow, because they like one of the first NFTs, right?
Yeah.
So basically, that kind of investment. By the way, I'll tell you, I heard some people are complaining that they cannot sell people. They purchased some people NFTs, and they paid a lot, and right now they cannot sell it, and they are like and they are frustrated. They are frustrated, and they feel being scammed. And to these people, I can just tell, like, be patient, because you know, if you are buying an art or any other asset, you cannot think it's not like day trading. The price will not increase every day. Sometimes you need to wait for the right buyer who will buy from you, like several years. So if you have people, don't sell it, hold it, wait until the moment will be right. And even after 10-20 years, this asset will become like historical, so it will have a historical value.
True, 100%. And now I want to ask a little bit about you. So you've been a PR and brand strategist, and now you're working in the NFT and crypto space. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Oh, in the next 10 years, I believe I will keep focusing on the NFT area, and my plan is to you know, grow my team, grow our expertise, start producing some you know, educational materials, and also what we are really focused on right now are the best NFT engineers. So we are connecting with engineers, we are connecting with developers, we are connecting with designers, also like with hackers, who are bringing like and working on innovations within the NFT area. And this is something that I really believe is my target for the next 10 years.
Nice. No, that's definitely very interesting. And now the future is going to be crazy. I can already tell. Already based on what you talked about. That's exciting already, you know. And thank you so much for coming on. A lot of gems were dropped on here. A lot of people want to know about this NFT space. They hear a lot of crazy numbers. They're like, what's going on? We want to know about it. So I appreciate you coming on and, you know, dropping some gems about it. And we'll stay in touch.
Oh, Majid, it was a huge honor and a pleasure.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you. We'll stay in touch, yeah?
Thank you. Yes.
All right, take care. Bye. All right, everybody. That was Gabe, who is a brand strategist and you know, someone who is working closely with the NFT space and the crypto space. A lot of gems were dropped on here. Make sure you drop your thoughts in the comment section what you think about this interview, what you think about the NFT space. I know there's a lot of people who are skeptical, so let me know down in the comments what you think about this. Gabe's Instagram is going to be down below, so make sure you go follow him to, you know, just stay in touch and you know, just keep tuned with everything that he's doing. Make sure you follow Visionary Magazine on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We have a lot more interesting content coming your way. And take care till I see you next. Peace.